It's not easy to let go of the past. What triggered this video is yesterday I was going through all my old photos and deleting many to try clear storage when I came across this one particular picture. And it's a picture that I had taken maybe 2 years ago when I was in university college before I dropped out. And it was just with, some flatmates, some friends I had made back then. And immediately, and you guys know what I mean, all the memories started flooding back. It was a sense of, I guess, happiness, like, oh, I'm happy I went through that season in my life. And then also feelings of regret because, like I mentioned, I dropped out. I was like, oh, did I make the wrong decision? And then feelings of, I don't know, like, when you love it and hate it at the same time. And again, this is how it is. It's not easy to let go of the past. And our futures could be so bright. Things could really turn around in days to come. But it's hard to look forward and focus on the here and now when you still have, I guess, I don't think haunting is the right word, as if all memories of the past are bad, but I'll just use it anyway. When you have those memories haunting you and remember, like, again, and especially pictures can trigger this. And another example, on Snapchat, how there's that feature where it can give you reminders of memories. It'll be like, oh, you took this 5 years ago today, 4 years ago today. And it's so crazy to look back, especially if it's a picture, like I mentioned, maybe old friends, even if they weren't friends, people used to be close with, and maybe if you look back now, you're like, wow, the way things have changed. Maybe I'm not friends with those people anymore, or like, oh, I was in that season, I remember how I felt back then. This video is not about friendship, it's about the past. But again, friends, especially as you grow in life, always change. Well, not always, they can come and go. There's some people that's only there for the season. I'll actually link my video up there. I'll probably put a tag of the video I did about having no friends, but that's a completely different topic. But yeah, quickly before I move on from the friendship thing, a song that it makes me think of is a song by Selena Gomez, and I believe it's called People You Know. I'm gonna sing it a bit. I'm not a good singer, but bear with me. It's like,
we used to be close, but people can go from people you know to people you don't. And what hurts the most is people can go from people you know to people you don't.
I am so sorry, I'm not a good singer. But it's so true. And I even remember seeing a quote a while back, and it was like, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, but has there ever been someone in your life who at one point in time you were extremely close to? Maybe even like besties, the closer friends, it could have been a partner, whatever. And maybe things ended, even if they didn't end horrifically. Things are not the same. The friendship, you maybe went from this to like complete strangers, And I've been in this instance before. Well, have I? I believe once I have. Maybe not exactly like this, but along these lines. And it's a thing of, when you're in public, you're just walking and you see someone who you used to be very close to, and maybe you walk past each other, even if you say hi, hello, but you can like walk past each other and it's as if they're a complete stranger. If, let's say, there was a camera or people watching you who didn't know you two, they wouldn't even imagine that once upon a time you and this person used to be so close. It's like, you're complete strangers now. Like, it's crazy. And if it's not friendship, again, old seasons, maybe old areas you used to live in, old schools, old jobs, old relationships, just old everything. But I believe the most dangerous thing is that thing of regret. Like, I know why I dropped out of uni and stuff like that. Will I ever go back? Who knows, maybe one day in the future. But it's like, I know I made my own decision to leave. But when I saw that picture, when I was back with my old flatmates, I was like, It's almost as if there was that little bit of regret, and it's not good to regret, guys. You just have to move on with the future. And I believe the reason why that one impacted me so hard is, had I not dropped out, I would have graduated in July. I'd have graduated with a law degree. And part of me, sometimes feels a bit ashamed, like, oh, Maria, you didn't get your degree. It makes me feel sometimes like I'm a bit dumb. Like, I know it's a degree, but it's like, I guess the whole confidence thing, and a lot of people don't know that I dropped out. But like, for example, people have been, how it is, how parents talk. Because there was some people who obviously they knew when I had got accepted into the uni I was in for law school. And they were like, oh, how's Maria? Because obviously they know in the UK, you graduate usually within 3-4 years. My degree was 3 years. And now they've been asking, and especially the ones who maybe their children graduated, and they've been saying, oh, like, my child graduated. How's Maria doing? Has she graduated yet? Has she graduated yet? And I remember I literally told my mum, don't tell anyone that I dropped out, because, I don't have time for the questions and the comments. It's like, oh, what are you going to do with your life now? And it is reasonable questions, but I feel like some people are just too in now, meaning they're just nosy. It's not that they really care about my future, what I'm doing with my life. They just want to know the insight. I believe many people are monitoring spirits, but that's something else. But yeah, like I said, I told my mom, like, don't tell anyone I've dropped out, because then I'm going to be bombarded. Especially if you have these aunties and uncles, you guys know how it is. So my mum was just like, I don't know. I don't know what she said. I think she just tells them, she's gonna graduate soon, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that it's now gonna be September, today's, I believe, August 30th, and by now people already have their, I guess, would be getting their professional jobs, and it's like, I need to stop regretting. I made the decision to drop out of uni. I need to stand firm on it. Should I ever decide to go back, it is what it is. But I just need to look ahead, forget the past. And please comment down below maybe any areas in your life where maybe you're regretting looking back. Maybe you left a certain job. Maybe you're wondering, I wonder how it would have been had I not left. Would I have been maybe promoted to like a manager role by now? Would I this? Or if me and that person ever broke up, like, I would love to know. And this is what my channel is about. A lot of my videos and I didn't even expect them or plan them to be that way, that have done really well, have just been me sitting down and speaking my heart. And to my shock, there's many more people that can relate to me than I would have ever imagined. Pictures really are powerful. And I believe it's good to keep memories and whatever, but because of the way my brain works and how sometimes I can be really caught up in things, I have a tendency of sometimes deleting old photos. And sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that because it's good to have memories. But like, I'm the type of person, maybe let's say a person is not in my life anymore, or like that season is over, I tend to like cut ties completely. Like, I don't want anything that's gonna remind me or make me regret. I didn't end up deleting that uni photo, by the way. I said, okay, let me just keep that there. I did meet, lovely people, but it's just really something, guys. I'm not sad, by the way. Well, this does seem like a sad video. It's just, I know my energy is not like all hype like I usually am, but I just really wanted to speak on this. Letting go of the past is not easy. Moving on is not easy. And that key question of what if, that one can keep you up at night. What if I made this decision? What if I did that? Or what if I didn't react? Or where would my life be now? How about... But I guess the one thing that really gives me a sense of hope, despite of what would have happened in my past or whatever, and how I sometimes worry that maybe I've made too many bad decisions, like, and maybe it's caught up to me, like, and I feel like, what am I gonna do now? It's found in Romans, and it's Romans chapter 8 verse 28, and it says that all things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. Again, it says all things, meaning not just the good, but the bad also. Sometimes you can think, but I've made too many bad decisions, I've messed up my life, I'm never going to get anywhere. But God said, even those bad decisions, even the things you've done that you regret, things that you've done when you were maybe young and dumb, naive, or maybe you knew it was bad, but you did it anyway, that can still work out for your good. And someone's story who really encourages me that it can turn around is that of Joseph in the Bible. Like, he had all odds stacked against him. He was falsely imprisoned, his own brothers betrayed him and sent him forth into slavery. He just went through so much, but in the end, God exalted him. And the very same things that were meant to destroy him, the false accusation, someone speaking false on you, ruining your reputation, that can damage your life forever. And to have even gone as far as getting into prison as a result of false accusation, and yet still all of that worked together to like form his story, like God's original plan for his life. It gives me hope that I believe mine will be the same too. And I don't encourage doing this. Don't drop out of uni, don't make bad decisions, but like, I believe one day it's going to be a testimony, and even the bad decisions or at least what I perceive to be bad decisions that I would have made, it can still work out. And this is also why I love watching people's testimonies. I love hearing where people have come from. Let me give an example of maybe some UK YouTubers that I know and their story and how everything worked out for them in spite of how horrific it was. One very big inspirational person, if you guys don't know her, you probably should, but her name is Nella Rose. She is a very big YouTuber. She is an it girl. Like, she paved the way, especially for UK black girls. Like, Nella's amazing. But if you look into her story, that girl Nella, she suffered. Like, she went through so much, but in spite of everything that she went through, how bad it was, God still had his hand on her life and he turned it around. And knowing where Nella comes from, like, first of all, Nella came to UK very young from Belgium. She didn't know a lick of English, nothing. And she came here with her mum. Bambi, her mum, unfortunately, is, no longer with us. That was hard. She lost her mum at 19. She literally said she held her mum in her hands as her mum passed. It's just so sad. And like, when her mum passed, she was living in a council flat, which is like government housing, for those, not in the UK, it's government assistance. And she thought that maybe the government would allow her to live there, but suddenly she got a 30-day notice that she had to move out, so she was homeless. Like, imagine you've lost your mum unexpectedly, and now suddenly the government is telling you you have to leave the house, you're homeless, and She's gone from that, literally being homeless, sofa surfing, blah, 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 to now, as we speak, she owns a house. Not rent, she owns a house. And I'm sure back then, she never saw that being in her future. Who would have thought someone who came to the UK like an immigrant, didn't know any English, was even homeless, kicked out, now in that very same land, that very same soil, she owns a house in her own name. Like, God has really blessed her. Things have turned around for her. Like, and especially, I believe the foundation was YouTube. She's a creative. YouTube made a way out for her financially. Like, she inspires me. Like, you know, sometimes when I'm randomly on Snapchat and I'm just going through the stories, you know, sometimes Snapchat can recommend people to you. Whenever I see Nella Rose, I'm in awe. And it's not just her. Literally, anyone who I've watched their testimony and they've said their life might look really good physically now. I guess you can imagine, like, materially, just, you know how it is, you know, people that are just doing well in life, they're successful. But those who I watch and I know their life wasn't always like that, and there's nothing wrong if you were born into wealth, into success, that's a blessing. But for those that I know that wasn't their story, they weren't born with a silver spoon, a gold spoon, and yet still their life still turned around, they were able to make something of themselves. It really inspires me. When I see Nella living her best life, it's so inspiring, and it gives me hope my life can turn around too. I've experienced homelessness too. Not on the streets, but I've, you know, me and my mum, we lost everything. We had to live with my brother. That's a whole other video. And even other people, like, who can I think of? Chunks. Chunks is from the Beta Squad. And of course, before he did Beta Squad, he just had his own YouTube channel. And he went from nothing to something. Chunks also used to live in a council estate. And that's what I am right now. I do live in government assistance. And he went from that to being hyper successful. And I remember watching his podcast. There's a podcast with Young Philly. And I never knew, because when he joined the YouTube group Beta Squad, I hope I'm getting the facts right. I believe he said that was the first time he had his own bedroom. Like, up until that point, he was sharing with, like, I don't know, cousins or just something, you know, in his flat. And then when he became successful and he was joined with Beta Squad, they lived in, like, these UK mansions. And it's crazy. From a council flat to a UK mansion. And it's just not just to just focus where it's just like money, like physical, materialistic. But again, it's just the principle, like, wow, the way their life changed. Guys, I actually forgot what video this is. I feel like I've gone on a tangent. What video am I filming right now? Oh my days. Oh well. And I'm happy that I've had these videos documented. And I believe one day my life will be a testimony too. And people can have hope that things can work out in the end. And things definitely can turn around. And the journey, it may be difficult, it may be tough, but it will be beautiful in the end. Thank you for watching.